What is going on, guys? It is April 24th and it is 5:38 right now in the morning. I'm not gonna lie, this morning was a bit of a struggle. The bitch voice was trying to take over. I laid there, we went to fucking war, man. Boom, boom. It was like a 5-minute war with myself laying in bed going, you know, you can probably just sleep till 6 and be fine, right? Which realistically I probably could. And then me going, no, motherfucker, that's fucking 30 extra minutes. You're not going to get that much out of the 30 extra minutes. You just want to do it to feel good about it. This is literally what I was saying to myself in my head. All right, like you're not going to feel that much more well rested because you slept an extra 30 minutes, and you just want it because you know deep down that you're probably going to end up sleeping even longer, and because you just don't want to go through the little bit of uncomfort that comes with getting out of bed. Right now that I'm talking and everything, I'm already even more awake. And once I get this coffee in me, I'll be perfect. But man, that little battle you face, whew. Now it used to be, and for a lot of you guys, that little battle that you face in the morning, it's like not even a battle. It's like the enemy shows up and you guys just throw up the white fucking flag and go, you win, back to bed. But as you build your mental toughness up, that's what you're doing, is you're allowing yourself to go to war a little bit longer, all right? And making your likelihood of success even greater. In today's video, I'm going to be going through a full chest and shoulder day, and then I'm going to be giving you guys some dating tips, because there's a lot of things that I wish I could go back in time and tell younger me about dating. Things that I should do, things that I should not do, whether I was ready for a relationship or not ready for a relationship yet. Because girls, here's the thing. Whenever it comes to girlfriends, they're either going to be your greatest downfall, or they're going to be one of the reasons that you push yourself to constantly be better. And unfortunately, a lot of guys choose girls, or they're not in the right mental space, so they date girls when they're going to be their biggest downfall. They aren't capable of telling them no, and they aren't mentally strong enough to have a girlfriend at the time and also achieve their goals. So we'll get into all that later, though. That's what we're going to be going over. I'm going to make coffee, go do cardio, probably see you guys during breakfast. I'll see you then. All right, guys, so it's currently 7:10 right now. I took the dog outside to go to the bathroom, read my Bible, journaled a little bit. But before I go do cardio, there's a couple things I wanted to talk about. The first one is that if you have a goal for yourself, if you have something you're trying to achieve and you haven't been on track, you know, the last week, yesterday, whatever it is, you didn't do the things you were supposed to do, you can't let that hold you back. Who you are today, who you are tomorrow, who you are next week does not need to be held back from your failures in the past. If anything, you can use those failures in the past to fuel your success in the future. That regret, that anger with yourself, you can use that to stop you from failing in the future, but it's all about how you perceive it. If you look at regret and failing as I'm worthless, I can't believe I did that, and you allow it to weigh you down, of course you're not going to be successful in the future. But if instead you tell yourself that because I didn't do what I was supposed to do yesterday, because I failed last week, I'm going to push even harder this fucking week. And you're going to use that to fuel your fucking fire to be successful the coming weeks and months and years, so that you never feel that regret again. Then it can be your superpower. It can be what makes you successful and gives you the drive that most people don't have to be successful. But it's all about how you perceive it. Don't get so caught up in past failures and fuck ups that it weighs you down. Use them to propel you forward to become the best version of yourself. Because if I allowed myself to be held back by my past failures, my regrets, which I have a fuck ton of, you guys have no idea, I have a lot of regrets in the past, then I wouldn't make any progress. I wouldn't be where I am today. If I were to tell myself, oh, you know what, because I fucked up, you know, for a couple years and didn't take bodybuilding serious, there's no point in trying now, then I wouldn't be where I am today. But instead, I used the fact that I didn't take things seriously and make the progress that I wanted to make as fuel to be perfect right now and stay on plan and take no days off. I used that regret to push myself forward. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is instant gratification, right? We live in a society today where people want results now. They want them quick, they want them fast, but fast results don't last. For example, these YouTube videos, you can look at how many views I'm getting right now. I get like 40, 50, maybe 100. It's not very much. And the time I put into these, I record all day long, and I spend 2 to 3 hours a night editing the videos between everything else I'm doing.
I've been busy all day, every day, especially with these YouTube videos, and it's added a lot of extra stress into my life. I know to a lot of people that doesn't seem like it should be something that's stressful, but everything that I try to do in my life, I create stress in my mind for it. That way I have the urgency to get it done, because urgency is key. If what you're trying to accomplish doesn't feel like life or death, if you don't have that urgency and that stress, you're not going to push yourself. You're more than likely going to slack off and you're going to fall off. But I'm not getting instant gratification from these YouTube videos right now. It does not feel worth doing. It feels like a waste of time, and it feels like, why am I even doing this? But it's because I know that if I continue to put in the effort and I continue to provide value to people, it will pay off in the future. I genuinely think if you're not providing value to people and you're not making the world a better place, then you're not really living that fulfilling of a life. You need to find something that you want to put the work into, and that you know if you put the time in, that eventually it will pay off, and have a strong why for those days that you feel like giving up or quitting, and just continuously put in the work and not focus on the results, and just focus on the day-to-day work, the day-to-day grind, and know that at the end of the day, one day it will pay off.
And for any of you guys that care, I figured I'd give you a quick physique update. Post-fasted cardio, currently sitting at about 187.8 pounds. Food just got pushed up on last Sunday. It got pushed the previous week as well, but my body is just absorbing the calories right now, and packing on size, and we're staying pretty lean. So this is the current physique at 187.8 pounds, and I can't wait to look back at this in a year or something, and I'm 200 pounds this lean. But here we go. Alrighty guys, while I get everything ready for the gym here, I'm going to be giving you guys the first piece of dating advice for young men. This video is going to be a little bit different than a lot of the other ones where I normally just give the advice or whatever it is at the end of the video. I'm going to be kind of sprinkling the advice throughout the video, and then at the end just kind of go over an overall summary of everything we talked about. So the first piece of dating advice that I'd give you is you should be happy alone before you get into a relationship, and you should have established goals that you're working towards, because a relationship is a lot of work, okay? So first off, if you're getting into a relationship while you're not okay, then you're going to stay in a relationship because you're afraid of being lonely again. And what does that mean? That means that you're going to put up with things that you normally wouldn't put up with, and you're going to hide your insecurities, and you're going to be afraid to bring up any issues with the person you're with because you don't want to upset them. And what this will end up doing, this is going to cause you to be passive aggressive towards them, right? Because you're not okay with them doing shit, but you're also too afraid and too big of a pussy to bring up the issues because you're afraid of losing them. So you're going to start taking it out on them passive aggressively. And they're not going to realize why you're acting the way you are because you're too afraid to bring up the reason. But yeah, anyways, if you get into a relationship when you're lonely and you're not okay while being alone, you're going to end up getting with somebody that you don't really want to be with just for the sake of not being alone anymore. And the reason I say that you should be thriving or working towards your goals already when you get into the relationship is because relationships are a lot of work. They take a lot of time, they take a lot of effort, right? Especially in the beginning stages, whenever you're getting to know them and whenever you first start dating. It's a lot of time, a lot of effort, and it takes up a lot of your mental focus. So if you don't already have established goals and you don't have a good understanding and a good habit base to achieve those goals, you're gonna start to set things aside and put things off that will take away from achieving your goals. And then it also might just lead to you completely pushing your goals off to the side, forgetting about them. And then now you're stuck in that relationship with the only thing you have is the girl. And so you're gonna stay in that relationship whether you like it or not because you gave up everything, you gave up a lot of who you are to be in that relationship. And if you got out of it, you'd have nothing. All right, so now we got 360 grams of white rice and 7 ounces of chicken. We're doing 2 scoops now of dextrin for intra-workout. Shake that motherfucker up. And I always tell a lot of guys this, if you're looking for a relationship because you're lonely and you're not okay being alone, you're gonna find a relationship. It's just not going to be what you thought. It's kind of like whenever people ask a genie in the bottle for a wish, right? They get what they wanted, but it's not really what they wanted because you're gonna end up just kind of accepting whatever comes your way rather than waiting for somebody that actually is good for you, right? So for example, you might start talking to a girl, having fun, whatever, you guys enjoy spending time together, and then a bunch of red flags start to pop up and pile up after one another. And then you start to make excuses for them, and you're like, oh, you know what, she can probably change this, or she might change down the road, or that's not that big of a deal. But before, that used to be a big deal to you, or a deal breaker. But because now you're enjoying the comfort of the girl, right? Which we talked about in the previous video, that comfort is the #1 killer, that and complacency. You're enjoying the comfort and you don't want to let that go and be all in again. So now you're going to set aside those red flags and end up dating somebody that you don't even really want to be with. And if somebody else better came along, you probably would have chosen them, but you're just kind of taking what you can get. And honestly, if you're happy being alone, you probably won't even be looking for a girlfriend. You might be open to the idea of it, but you're probably going to be so focused on your goals and trying to grow yourself as a man and as a person that she's just going to kind of come along. You're not going to be searching for her because you don't need one. And honestly, whenever you are in that frame of mind, kind of start to think of a girl as probably a hindrance towards your life. So you're only going to accept the highest quality because you don't want her to take away from your goals, because that's your #1 priority. So you're only going to accept the best of the best, because you're only going to want somebody that supports your goals and helps you to reach them. And so whenever you're in that frame of mind, that's why you attract a girl that will actually be supportive, because like I said earlier, a girl will either be your downfall or your #1 supporter and driver to reach your goals. So that is why you do not want to be in a lonely state of mind and kind of lost in life whenever you find a girl, because you will find a girl, and you will accept whatever, and it will end up taking away from your goal and taking away from your life. But now almost everything, we gotta take the tadalafil, because today is chest day, chest and shoulders, best day of the fucking week, and we wanna get an awesome pump for it. That always tastes so bad. Get everything in the gym bag, and we're gonna go kill some fucking chest. All right, so first movement for chest day is we're doing an incline chest press machine. Right now we're doing some feeder sets. I'm gonna see how 3 plates feel. Last week I did 6 plates, I think with a 25 on top. What else was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I did my first set. Oh, and we got some AC/DC playing right now. Rock and Roll Train, fucking awesome song. It sets a good mood. I have like 3 moods for the gym. Classic rock, AC/DC. That's kind of like a happy / angry testosterone filled workout. And then we have like the Screamo. That's like angry testosterone filled workout. And then I don't really get this one a lot, but like the happy EDM one, that's like it's intense, but a different kind. It's like a happy dopamine filled intense lift, if you know what I mean. I don't really like those ones. I like these, like the classic rock AC/DC type lifts, but let's get it. You haven't heard Fuel by Metallica? Pause this video and turn it on right now. It's a good working set song. Got 7 again, but that 7 felt a hell of a lot easier than last week's 7. Last week's 7, the final 2 or 3 reps looked a lot closer to this week's last rep. Does your last rep need to look like that? No, but should it? Yeah, because most of you aren't going to failure at all. You're not even going close to that. But you want to be careful, obviously, not to injure yourself, but you want to have intensity. That last rep should be a fucking struggle. You should feel like you're dying after. All right, so next we got this converging chest press machine. This is one of my favorites because those machines that converge at the top and bring the elbows really close together, you cannot beat the contraction you get with your chest on those. The pump goes fucking insane. It feels great. So last week we got this 320 for 7. Gonna see what we get this week. Got some Limp Bizkit playing right now. Just one of those days, man. If you know Limp Bizkit, you know what I was referring to. Oof. Oof. Got 7, just like last week, a little bit pissed off. The reps were easier than last week. I'm gonna see if I can squeeze one more out. I'm not actually gonna count that extra rep. I just had to take my anger out on something. Same as last week, reps felt a little bit easier. And as we all know, if you're able to do the same weight for the same amount of reps, but the reps were smoother, you got stronger, you progressed. So that means probably next week, we'll be able to get more weight. Not more weight, more reps with that weight. Until we get about 10 reps with that pretty clean, then we'll bump the weight up again. Come on. That means I had about a perfect weight. Rest pause set, that last set of rest pause set, you want to be about burnout. Obviously I was, my chest is fucking dead. Shoot, oh, go ahead, go for it. Shoot, huh? I don't give a we're just recording a little video, you know how it is. The gym's my happy place. I got a lot of friends here. The funny part is I'm friends with the older guys, not the younger guys my age, because I just relate to the older guys more. A lot of the younger guys are, you know, they're more like gym bros versus the older guys here are more like fucking bodybuilder. Why are you making more like bodybuilder, hardcore guys, like suck it up, pussy, get shit done kind of guys. Those are my kind of people, you know, so I get along with them. But yeah, let's fucking get back to it. We got a classic here, the pec deck, a favorite of everybody's. 3 sets, 12, 15 reps. Oh, one thing I wanted to touch on real quick. You obviously want intensity in your lifts, right? But I see some guys that have a little bit too much intensity, you know what I mean? Where they're not really even lifting the weight with their muscles anymore, and they're just kind of like bouncing all around the place. You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you have tension on the muscle and you're controlling the weight using the muscle to lift it, not fucking hopping all over the place, fucking swinging weight down and shit. Maybe for your last like 2-3 reps, if you've gotten in the rep range effectively, if your entire set, you're like not even using the muscle and you're using momentum and your whole fucking body to move the weight, it's just not going to be effective. All right, yeah. What are you doing with that silly camera in my face? One thing you gotta keep in mind is I'm an idiot sometimes and I go past where I probably should. Like those last couple reps I probably shouldn't have done because I was lifting up a bunch and you didn't fuck your shoulder up like that. That's the inner Marine that kind of comes out, because here's the thing, whenever you're in the Marines, it doesn't matter if you're hurting or gonna get injured, you just fucking keep going no matter what. That's because whenever bullets are flying, you can't stop. That's how we're trained. And that mentality really carries over into lifting. Like it's subconsciously wired in me. Once again, not trying to sound like a hard ass or anything. It's a problem that I have and I need to work on because I keep going when I shouldn't. So you want to train with intensity to absolute failure. But whenever it gets to the point where you're injuring yourself and hurting yourself and stuff, you got to learn to stop and know when that fine point is, which takes a while. But once you figure it out, you're gonna start making real gains and stop injuring yourself. That's why sometimes with movements like this, where you're more prone to hurt your shoulder, because all of that pressure is right here, you wanna go with a little bit higher rep range. That way you can use a lighter weight, which is gonna lead to less injury and still go to failure. Last chest exercise is my favorite, is this back supported pulley press, pulley fly. I do more of a press than a fly with it. 2 sets, 12 to 15 reps. You'll see on this too, at the top of the contraction, I cross my hands a little bit. And let's just bring the elbows a little bit closer together. That way I can get the full contraction, full squeeze, and it just feels really fucking good. All right, so we're moving on to shoulders now, just finished up chest. First movement we're doing are these side raises with this machine here. I do this unilaterally just because like with my lats, you know, it's a little bit easier to focus on each individual delt whenever I'm doing it versus both. But man, I'm fucking dead. You know it's a good workout if you feel fucking mentally and just physically exerted afterwards. Like I feel fatigued, my brain feels fucking dead. It's hard for me to even formulate sentences right now. I feel a little bit retarded, but it is what it is. I honestly don't think you could have pushed yourself to your limits and as hard as you should have if you leave the gym still feeling energetic. 4 sets on here. We're gonna do overhead press, and we're skipping out on rear delts today just because my rear delts kind of fucked. They're pinching right now. They got some tendon pain. That was a good set. My fucking side delts are on fire right now. Finish off side delts, front delts, then go fucking eat. Can't wait to eat. Fuck. Also, I see a lot of people using weird grips on machines. They're not supposed to go on there, like a fucking cable curl grip on a preacher bar, or like a rope that you use on a pulley on like a preacher curl. And it's guys that don't have any muscle mass at all, and you don't need to be worrying about that kind of shit when you don't have any muscle. If it feels really good and you just really like it, go for it, but it's not gonna help you build your arms, because by the looks of it, these are people that don't even eat enough food to grow anyways, and they're looking for some special exercise that's gonna grow their arms or something. It's just not gonna work if you're not eating enough food to begin with. You don't need to be doing special shit. You do not need to be doing special shit. Lift hard with the basics and eat food. That's how you're going to grow. Alrighty guys, so pretty awesome fucking chest day. You really cannot beat chest day. I mean, Every now and then there's a leg day that comes along that, you know, you just defile your legs and give it completely everything and it beats chest day. But the pump you get on chest day with shoulders too, you just feel massive and it feels good. But let's move on to dating tip number 2 is ask yourself what kind of girl you want, what kind of qualities you want to look for in a girlfriend, and ask yourself, look at yourself in the mirror as a man and be real with yourself and ask yourself, would this kind of girl want to date a guy like me? You know, are you the kind of guy that's going out and partying every weekend, talking to a million different girls, you know, doesn't have any big goals or anything he's working towards? Does the kind of girl that you want a guy like that? Because here's the issue. A lot of guys come to the conclusion that all girls are hoes, all girls are manipulative, and that basically they're all evil. But they never look themselves in the mirror and ask, why am I attracting these types of girls? Because I promise you they aren't all like that. A lot of them are, don't get me wrong. It's hard to find a good girl, but that's what makes finding a good girl that makes a good girlfriend special. But they never look in the mirror and ask themselves, okay, am I the kind of guy that a girl that would make a good girlfriend would want? A girl that's going to make a good girlfriend does not want a guy that's living in his mom's basement and has no goals or aspirations of becoming better. It's a lot different if you're living in your mom's basement, but you're working your ass off every day to build a business. A girl that's going to make a good girlfriend probably does not want a guy that is going out and partying, drinking every weekend, and is talking to 20 different fucking chicks. She might at first, but it's gonna get old real quick and you're not going to be able to keep her being that type of guy. If she is the type of girl that's going to make a good girlfriend, she's probably dated a guy like that in the past and learned her lesson, is gonna stay away from a guy like that. So all in all, in order to be ready for a relationship and be in a place in your life where you're more likely to attract the girl that's actually gonna make a good girlfriend, first off, you need to be in a place in your life where you're okay with being alone. And you're not only okay with being alone, but you have set goals and you're chasing after those goals. And second, you need to be able to look in the mirror and ask yourself, are you that guy? Are you the type of guy that's going to attract the type of girl that you want? And this only works if you're real with yourself. I know so many guys that think they're like alpha male type dudes, but at the end of the day, they're more of like a beta type of guy. They give in to a girl's every desire. They don't stand their ground on their morals and values. They're afraid to tell her no. They're afraid to set boundaries. They have these goals they're working towards, but like they aren't really working towards them. They change every fucking month after things get difficult, and they aren't capable of supporting a girl. So you need to be real with yourself and really look yourself in the mirror and be real. Because at the end of the day, the only person you're fucking over by lying to yourself is yourself. If you're not being real with yourself about your issues and the things you need to work on and get better at, then you will never get better at, because in your head, there's nothing to get better at. So now let's say you are in the position where you're ready for a relationship and you're ready for a girlfriend. Let's talk about some of the things to look out for in girls, because you will still attract some shitty girls. But if you truly are ready for a relationship, you'll be able to see that they're a shitty chick before things get too far, and you won't even accept her into your life. But some girls can be manipulative and play the good girl angel card at the beginning and then show their real identity later on. So the first thing to look out for would be if she's talking to 15 different guys, because this is a good sign that she requires external validation to get confidence, because she probably does not get confidence from within herself, and so she needs to talk to all these guys in order to feel confident and feel like she's worth something and to feel pretty and all that shit. Now, like with all red flags, does that mean that it's a stop sign and no go right off the bat? No. Talk to her about it. See where she's at with that kind of thing. Maybe once you tell her you're not okay with it, she'll drop all of them right away and start to work on herself. But it is still a very good sign that she requires external validation from men to feel confident in herself. It's just that now she's going to be getting that external validation from you. But what happens down the road when you guys are dating and she doesn't feel like she's getting that external validation from you anymore? Well, this is whenever cheating can occur, or whenever she'll start to get guy friends at work and stuff like that, because your external validation, it no longer gives her that confidence. Kind of like your grandma telling you that you're handsome or whatever. It doesn't really mean anything because that's what they're supposed to say. Well, that happens with relationships sometimes if your external validation means nothing to her anymore. So if yours doesn't mean anything to her anymore and she starts to feel like she's not very confident in herself anymore and she's craving that external validation, that's whenever guy friends can come into play, which then can lead to cheating. Or sometimes this is whenever you'll see girls, you know, they're fighting with their boyfriend or whatever, not getting that validation, so then they post a booty pic on Instagram because they know they're gonna get validation from a bunch of guys through likes and DMs and comments and shit like that, which can cause issues as well. because what guy would be okay with that? Next would be, don't try to make a wife out of a hoe, because so many fucking guys do, even though they know they shouldn't. And by hoe, I don't just mean a hoe, I mean a girl that doesn't align with your morals, your values, or your goals in life. Now, does this mean that she needs to be perfect and you need to agree on everything? No. What it means is, though, that at your foundation, your core ideals and morals, you should be able to agree on most things. Let's say, for example, that you don't think it's okay for her to have guy friends, and you also don't think it's okay for you to have girlfriends, but she thinks that that's completely fine. Well, that's a pretty foundational issue that is gonna cause issues down the road. But a lot of guys end up telling themselves, oh, well, you know, we can cross that bridge whenever it comes. Maybe she'll change or whatever the fuck. No. She most likely not, and it's gonna cause big issues and things won't work out. And so then they end up, you know, setting aside all of their goals and everything for this girl to keep them in their life, so they have nothing left. And then they're afraid to bring up any issues that they have with the girl, like talking to other guys and stuff like that. And they hold it all in and they take it out on her passive aggressively. And then they end up getting broken up with whenever she's like, okay, this guy's just causing me way more issues than the stuff he's providing anymore. And now, because she was your everything and you gave everything up for her, you are left with nothing, and she gave nothing up for you, so she is left with everything, and she just throws you out like fucking trash. Happens all the fucking time.